Coach, we are just about set for football at CenturyLink Field here in Seattle. A few moments ago, they raised the 12th man banner, and this place, as usual, rocking and rolling. These folks love their football in Seattle. This was the scene a moment ago as the home squad came out of the tunnel, and it was just absolutely deafening in this building. They're set for football, so are we, as the Seahawks get set to match up with the Cincinnati Bengals. Now a fake on the give here as they try the run-pass option. And it's incomplete. Boy, he doesn't drop many like that one. Second down.
That's very well timed there defensively because it's not a bad throw, but the collision came at the exact time he was reaching to bring in the football. Really, really well done.
Decent offense, just better defense. I think you're right. So after the incompletion, 2nd and 10 from the 22. Now Joe Mixon. And the result here the same as the last play. Another tackle behind the line of scrimmage by the Seahawk defense.
Anytime you call an inside running play, you just know there should be a lot of congestion there. You're counting on your offensive line to take control of the line of scrimmage. That didn't happen in this case, and that play got bottled up.
Third down, a shot here for Dalton. Throw left side, complete to Ross. And it's a fumble, and the Seahawks have picked it up. And his guys will take over at the 30-yard line. So 1st and 10 now from the 30. That throw good for 4. It's 2nd down. Here's the second-year man from San Diego State, Rashad Penny. Just a gain of a yard there, and now it'll be 3rd down.
I know the scouting report on him is that he doesn't possess the eye discipline to be an elite linebacker. And what that means is his ability to read, react, and make a play. But on that one, he looked like one of those guys.
Well, they were handed great starting field position on this drive, but now they face a 3rd and 4. Open man is Metcalf. He's got it. And he's going to have a first down here as he gets this one to the 17-yard line. 8 yards on the pickup there, and it moves the sticks. Well, throw on 1st down with Wilson. Toward the center of the field, but it's incomplete. The rookie DK Metcalf, the intended receiver, but it's going to be 2nd down.
We always talk about receivers. If the ball hits your hand, you're supposed to haul it in, but it is hard to adjust to a pass thrown a little bit behind you.
That one was all the momentum going forward. Couldn't contort his body back to grab it. This is Chris Carson, 1,000-yard rusher a year ago, and stopped a few yards shy of the goal line at the 3. A gain of 13. It's a first down.
And there we see an early burst that makes him one of the leading rushers in the league.
Well, I want you to know, I listened to you yesterday when we were watching film. You said write down the word vision for him. It was on display there, wasn't it?
It certainly was, because he allows the blocks to set up in front of him. And if that continues, it could be a long afternoon for those guys trying to play some defense.
Now a throw to the end zone on 1st down, but it winds up incomplete. Sean Williams there defensively to break that one up.
It's always a battle. Who's going to win on 1st down, the offense or the defense? Let's face it, if you've got the ball, 4 yards or more on 1st down is what you're aiming for. They tried to throw for it there. Nice effort to knock that one away and bring up 2nd down.
They'll go again from the 3 here on 2nd and goal. This is Carson, and that is not going to get it done either. Once again, he's stopped behind the line by this Bengals D. It'll be a loss of a yard, and that is going to set up 3rd and goal.
45. 380. Man, I got you.
From the gun, it's Wilson. He can run, and he's going to score. It's a Seahawk touchdown. Taking it in from 4 yards out, and they are able to strike first here on their opening drive. They were looking to pass the ball there, but they forgot to account for the man with the football.
Yeah, I can hear people right now saying, well, why don't you have a spy in your defense, someone who will dance with him and go where he goes? Well, oftentimes if you utilize a spy, you've taken away someone in coverage as well. And oftentimes, the spy, not as athletic as the guy he's trying to keep up with, so he gets defeated anyway.
And he turns 3rd and goal into a touchdown. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. This is fielded a couple yards deep. And the decision to come out is going to cost him 5 as he's taken down right at the 20. This Bengal offense heading out. Zach Taylor's first camp as the head coach got off to a difficult start. A star receiver, A.J. Green, injured during an event at the University of Dayton. Later underwent what they called minor ankle surgery, if there is such a thing. But 6 to 8 weeks, that's the initial diagnosis. They're hoping that it's just going to be a couple of games. We'll see. But he almost certainly will not be ready to go, Charles, when the season gets started September 8th.
And you know what minor ankle surgery is.
It's ankle surgery.
That's surgery on you,
yeah.
right? Not on A.J. Green. So that's going to be a problem for them as Zach Taylor tries to get things moving. Andy Dalton at quarterback loses his safety blanket, right? A.J. Green was his guy. Let's see how the Bengals handle that as they head into the season.
After the incompletion, here's 2nd and 10 from the 20. And he'll go down at the 26 following a gain of 6. Green last year had the lowest numbers of his career output-wise, 694 yards, 6 touchdowns. But, of course, there was a reason for that. He was battling a toe injury the second half of the season. And, boy, did the Bengals miss his presence. They limped to the finish line, losing 7 of their last 8. They are happy to have him back and healthy. After the false start, sets up a 3rd and 9. Dalton here from the gun. And able to find Green. And they work this well upfield across the 45. A pickup of 27. And they pick up the first down in the process. So we have now seen connection number 1 between Dalton and Adriel Jeremiah, A.J. Green.
Say that again.
Adriel Jeremiah.
Look at you. You are full of knowledge and information. And you know something? I bet Andy Dalton learned his full name as well because he figured out quickly, this is going to be my number 1 target. I got to know this guy in a big way.
And now a throw on first down there, but it's incomplete.
I know tight ends love this route because a lot of times they'll fake a block first and get a little bit of space and then come across the middle because in their mind, they're thinking catch the ball and then drop the hammer on the little guys in the secondary.
Unable to drop the hammer, he just dropped the pass. And on the left sideline, he caught it, but out of bounds, according to the head linesman. Incomplete, so the ball a little late getting there, and it's 3rd down.
That was a nice catch, but unable to stay in bounds. And remember, it wasn't a wide receiver who works on that all the time.
I was going to say, he likes to get the ball handed to him. Now, don't get me wrong, he's part of the passing game as well, but maybe a little out of his comfort zone there.
Yeah, he might want to have a few words to say to us about that later, but I am still going with you on that one. Wide receivers work on a little bit more.
Now, yet another incompletion here as they fail to connect on 3rd.
Tight end has become a bigger and bigger part of the passing game in the NFL, but if you drop the football, that position can get swapped out with a wide receiver in that spot, a running back in that spot. There are other ways they can go if you're not going to catch the ball.
And that's not just his first drop, his second drop of the game. Now out comes Seattle here. We'll see their offense going in just a second. Speaking of that offense, for Russell Wilson, they went out in the draft this year, got him a couple new options out wide, did they not?
They did, and you can see that they're changing their offensive philosophy a little bit. Remember, Doug Baldwin, who was a great target, especially on the underneath throws, he's retired. So strategically, because they run the heck out of the football, Chris Carson was a 1,000-yard runner. They expect more from Rashad Penny this year. They want to have the ability to throw the ball deep, and the only guy they had previously, Tyler Lockett, who's going to play in the slot now with Doug Baldwin retired. So they went out and got DK Metcalf in the second round out of Ole Miss, got Gary Jennings from West Virginia in the fourth round, and both of them can fly. Look for Russell Wilson, who throws a really pretty deep ball, to take advantage of that this season.
They work again from the 38 on 2nd and 10. Wilson now throwing again. And they will not get the connection there. It's incomplete. He was going for the tight end, Nick Vanette. But now it'll be 3rd down. That pass just a little bit off. It looked like maybe he tried to force it in there.
Game speed, always different, no matter what you do in practice. Can't simulate it, right? So your decision-making, everything has to be a little bit quicker. Sometimes it can throw you off until you adjust.
Wilson after the play fake to Carson. Under a heavy rush, and down he goes. Nick Vigil coming in to drop him for a loss of 8, and it also brings up 4th.
We've watched this a long time, and I still don't believe we get it. 3rd and long, why are you calling play action?
Yeah, because they're not going to bite defensively, right?
No, not at all. I did have a coach explain to me years ago that for some teams, that's how they have to deal with pass protection and their line blocking, but to me it seems silly.
Yeah, well, they're silly, and it leads to a play-action sack. And that'll hit at the 5 and go into the end zone for a touchback. Now the Cincinnati offense ready to see what they can do here. And the results for them have not been strong to this point. 2 drives have ended in a turnover and then a punt.
So would it be too snarky for me to say that they've shown improvement? Because you had two drives with turnovers. Now they punted it away, so at least they didn't turn it over. So that's good, right?
You're going to get some angry users reaching out to you on social media.
Well, I don't mean to be. I was actually looking for the positive. Silver lining, you know.
Looking left side, and he's got a man. That's Ross. A gain of 6 there on 1st.
Many teams, as soon as they spot man defense, if they haven't called a hitch, they'll get to it as fast as they can. They want to put the ball in the hands of one of their best playmakers and hope that he can break a tackle on the outside and go for big yardage.
From the 26, they'll line up on 2nd and 4. Trying to run inside, but nothing there. No gain on the play that time, and they'll look to convert on what will be a 3rd and 4.
Well, we just saw a great example of what we talked about with his coach prior to the game. He's definitely one of the better linebackers at reading a play and flowing to make the stop before it turns into something big.
Now Dalton. He's got his man here. It's Green. And he's able to get it to the 31, and that's enough for the 1st. The connection since 2011, Dalton to Green for a Bengal 1st down. Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10.
You better be afraid of me.
Dalton on the draw to Mixon. And he'll scratch out only about a yard up to the 32. We haven't seen much from him running the football here in this 1st quarter.
No, you're right about that. We haven't seen much of him at all so far. They've stacked him up pretty well, but when you're trying to run the football, sometimes you got to play the long game. Keep handing it to him, and some of those runs that aren't working now, they turn into 6, 7, 8, and maybe more later on.
On 2nd down, here's Mixon. 2 runs in a row, but only 2 yards to show for it.
Well, now they're in a spot that every team tells us when we have our production meetings they don't want to be in 3rd and long, and that's because those back-to-back running plays just didn't accomplish a whole lot.
It'll be a nickel look here for the Seahawks on 3rd down. Out of the gun, it's Dalton, and that is incomplete. Here's Kevin Huber now as he's on to punt for Cincinnati. And no one there to stop it. Hits at the 8, but it carries all the way into the end zone for a touchback. The Seattle offense now set to come back out on the field. They've got a 7-0 lead in the football as well as they start out 1st and 10. Try to get one more in here before the quarter breaks. Now Wilson on 1st down. Oh, he tries to get it to Metcalf, but it's intercepted. Picked off by Preston Brown, the linebacker. And it's a terrific return here as he's going to have him set up with a 1st and goal right at about the 6-yard line. Suddenly it's 1st and goal after the interception. A quick change in the situation here. They'll give it to Mixon. And he'll get this one back to the 5-yard line, but no further than that. No gain on the play that time, and it sets up 2nd and goal.
He has elite instincts from his linebacker spot. He's able to diagnose the run and flies in like a missile to stop that one behind the line of scrimmage.
The line of scrimmage, once again, the 5 as they get ready for 2nd and goal. Here's Dalton. Toward the end zone, but that's going to wind up incomplete. This stadium once registered as the loudest roar ever recorded, and you can hear him now. 3rd and goal. Dalton now to pass. To the end zone, but knocked away and incomplete.
I tell you, Brandon, this defense is playing with some confidence. Haven't allowed a point yet. Flying to the football. I'm telling you, it's almost 11 to the ball on every snap. Another nice job there to force an incompletion.
Here's Randy Bullock now as he'll go for the field goal. From the right hash, and this one just a chippy. And Bullock will put this one through, and they are on the board, but still trailing. It's 7-3. A good drive gets them inside the 5, but they could not punch it in.
And credit the defense, too. Make sure that happens because that was the old bend but don't break approach. Made sure they contained them when they absolutely had to and forced the field goal attempt that went through.
After the field goal now, it's Bullock to kick it away. This is fielded a couple yards deep. And he'll be brought down at the 23, make it the 24-yard line. The Seattle now ready to march out of the field. And last time, one play interception, so this offense, they should be fresh.
That's a good way of putting it. And I can't wait to see what they decide to do with play calling, because a one-play drive where you throw an interception, a lot of people think the very next time out, run the football, don't give them a chance.
Maybe play action?
I think maybe you go play action, show your quarterback, get a little confidence in him, and let him fling another one.
And he's brought down, getting this one up to about the 35. The drive starting with a 1st down, 11 yards on that pickup. Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. From the shotgun, Wilson. Left side complete to Lockett. And he'll have it past midfield almost to the 40 before being taken down. 23 yards on the play.
Never make the mistake that the slot receivers, especially the little guys like we're watching here, are just quicker than fast. A lot of them combine quickness and speed, and they catch a lot of footballs, as we just saw there.
Throwing now, Wilson on 1st down. And he can't find a receiver, and he's brought down. Geno Atkins able to drop him for a loss of 4 from his defensive tackle spot. And no matter what the situation, the O-line just hates that because they feel like they didn't protect little brother back there, right?
Man, that's just so difficult for them because just think about every single play. When you decide to throw the football, you're dealing with some of the best athletes on the planet. You talk about guys, if they weren't playing football, they'd be starring in the NBA at power forward. It's a really difficult task.
They'll wind up with positive yardage. It's a gain of 3, but now it's 3rd down.
Now, how about that play? He took a possible negative and turned it into positive yardage and slid down to avoid taking a big shot. Excellent job getting down and avoiding the big hit.
On 3rd down, Wilson. He's got the tight end, Vanette. And he'll go down to the ground at the 39, and obviously that's well short of the first. Just a 5-yard pickup, and it leads to 4th down.
He wasn't the primary target, but I think it was almost like a check down situation, wasn't it?
Yeah, hoping he can break some tackles, the big tight end, but he couldn't do it.
Yeah, get it to that big frame and hope he can scatter some bodies, unable to get it done.
And his kick is good. He got every bit of that one as it's good from 56 yards out. These kickers now, it's like we take them for granted. Kicks like that used to be such a big deal, and now you just expect them to make it.
Yeah, you're exactly right, and we shouldn't take them for granted, but I have a theory about it. You want to hear it?
Yeah.
They are more athletic now than ever before. I talk about kickers. Trace their backgrounds, trace their histories. You'll find that they were big-time athletes all along, but their kicking was so prevalent that we made them specialists.
Well, and now those 50-plus yarders seem easy for some reason. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. This is fielded a couple yards deep. And he'll get across the 20 before he's brought down at about the 23-yard line. Now this Bengals offensive unit ready to see what they can do here. And last time they got 3 points, but it was a chip shot field goal. And when you go to the sideline after a chip shot field goal, maybe the offense not too happy.
It's a balancing act, isn't it? Because you're exactly right. They're none too pleased that they didn't punch it in for 6 points. But they also have to remember they did put points on the board.
3 points is 3 points.
And in this league, you take points when you can get them. Not easily done.
Cincinnati now ready to take the field. Just a lone field goal for them so far, trailing 10-3 as they come up 1st and 10. A false start backs them up 5, 1st and 15. From the gun, Dalton looks to throw. Throwing the out route, incomplete. It's Green. And they'll bring him down here up at about the 22-yard line.
Well, that's what you're looking for when you want to throw the ball downfield. You want one of those guys who can play out on the perimeter, can play out wide, who can not only get open, but when they're covered, can uncover themselves downfield and create catches.
On 2nd down now, Mixon. And he'll be brought down somewhat awkwardly here, and a late flag as well. I think this one's going to be a face mask. So the yellow flag came out, and that leads to a new set of downs for this offense. 1st and 10. From the gun, Dalton over the middle, and it's incomplete. He was looking for his favorite target, A.J. Green, that time. And that'll bring up 2nd down. Well, let's have some fun while we have a minute here. Fantasy drafts are in full swing. I know I've got my family fantasy draft coming up, Charles. Who would be your top 3 picks? I know that you're a noted fantasy football expert, so who would you take?
Well, you've got to start with guys who are going to touch the football and put it in the end zone, right? You got to score points. How about Saquon Barkley with the Giants? You know he's going to run it. He's going to catch it. When they get desperate, they may actually have him return it as well. Alvin Kamara is an absolute matchup nightmare for everyone. And Christian McCaffrey, did he ever come off the field last year? And, you know, this guy, he's a threat to be a 1,000-yard runner and a 1,000-yard receiver, as is Kamara. So this is going to be fun to watch. I can't wait to see those guys do their thing, but there are plenty of other guys out there too. If Zeke comes along, you got to take him. Melvin Gordon, if they both come to camp, we'll see how that works out. How about Todd Gurley and his health? Because, boy, when he touches the ball, great things usually happen.
And then wondering, someone like Le'Veon Bell took the year off, now a new offense. But if he starts going like he used to, he's obviously going to be a good one.
Fresh legs is what you're counting on with Le'Veon Bell and a fresh start in New York with the Jets. And if you're looking for an exciting rookie, remember this. Kyler Murray's going to get the ball from the first snap, and they're going to leave him in there throughout. And as long as he stays healthy, he's going to pitch it around the park a bunch. Don't be surprised if he gets a little love, too.
This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. Dalton with a give here to Mixon. And he still has yet to get on track in this first half as they're going to stop him behind the line. A loss of 2 there, 2nd down.
Part of the thinking when you bring in extra tight ends, you're hoping that each of your guys gets those one-on-one blocks and creates a crease for your runner. You know what the converse is, though? You've got to win those one-on-one blocks, and when you don't, that's the result you end up with.
And now to the air, Dalton. And the Seahawks defense gets to him, and they bring him down. That's Ziggy Ansah, the number 5 pick in 2013, credited with a sack.
There's a little bit of defense right there. Nickel set, 5 defensive backs. They just snuffed out every route that was going. Quarterback never got rid of the football.
So the sack, and now it's 3rd and long for Dalton and the Bengals. Off the play fake to Mixon. This is Dalton. And that will be incomplete. Well, they weren't scared to let it fly, but it falls to the ground and brings up 4th down.
All right, that one fell incomplete there, but the best quarterbacks, they'll miss on 40% of their throws, somewhere in that neighborhood, similar to a great hitter in baseball who's going to fail 7 out of 10 times and still have a great year. In this case, you want perfection, but way better that it hits the ground instead of going to an opposite color jersey.
The Seattle offense now set to come back out on the field. And fortunate to get points on the board last time. They had to hit a really long field goal to do so.
The kickers in today's game are so good and so skilled and hit from distances that we almost start to take them for granted, and we can't do that. That's a long field goal that they got 3 points out of. They've got to feel good about that, and they better make sure they love him up because he's helped them out.
Yeah, now we'll see if that offense can put 6 on the board here. We'll see. Throwing to start the drive, but that one incomplete. Well, we got a second. We remind you that the Madden Championship Series is back and better than ever. August 30th through September 1st, you can watch the top Madden competitors face off at Arlington, Texas for a total prize pool of $190K. Tune in and watch it. Twitch.tv/EA Madden NFL, 2:30 p.m. Eastern, August 30th and 31st, and then 10:30 a.m. Eastern on September 1st to see if Skimbo can go back to back to back as a Madden Classic champion. Now they face a 3rd and 10 after back-to-back incompletions. Out of the gun, here's Wilson. And that'll wind up incomplete. Bold play call there. Now it's 4th down. I don't know, he had to be pretty quick with his fingers to start and stop after the ball hit the ground. I've given him some credit.
Well, I'm thinking about the mental focus, you know? The mental focus on the whole
that's
thing.
true.
Got to stay with it.
That's true. Now here's Michael Dixon as he's on to punt for Seattle. And great special teams work here. This is knocking on the door of the 5. They'll spot it at the 6-yard line. So they'll play the field position game here as a very nice punt is going to pin them back.
Yeah, it's almost like watching a game of tennis, or do you prefer ping pong? You know, back and forth like that? That definitely was excellent, wasn't it?
Raise the head! Mike 50. I got it. Watch tight end. 4 down. Chill.
On 1st and 10, here's Andy Dalton. And his throw is incomplete. Now the Cincinnati offense ready to see what they can do here. After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10. To throw again. Dalton. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. The 40. the 30, 10, and all the way in for a Cincinnati score. A.J. Green, 94 yards, as they are an extra point away now from tying this football game. Well, they were back in the shadows of their own goalpost, and that flipped quickly.
So much for playing it safe. I mean, the conservative, easy call, run the football, take care of it, create some space, pump the ball away, but no, let's throw it. And sometimes a defense's aggressiveness is used against them because when you've got people backed up, your natural inclination is to try and really force them back, and sometimes they get burned that way.
And they got burned there. All level now at 10 apiece as the kick's away. This fielded at the 2. And he'll take this one near the 25, call it the 26-yard line. The Seattle now ready to march out of the field. And they're coming off a 3-and-out, my friend.
I think they've got to look at that play sheet and go to a spot that they haven't gone before. Time to shake things up a little bit to try and get this offense moving.
Okay, so how do you do that? How do you shake things up?
You look at what you've called before, realize it hasn't worked
so well. Go to something else.
And maybe you try and find one of those special plays from one of your better players, and maybe try and hit something big and get things going in the excitement area.
Now the first play of the drive there is incomplete. He was trying to get it to Rashad Penny, and it's second down. Earlier we mentioned the Madden Classic Championship. We also want to remind you that registration is underway for the opportunity to represent your favorite NFL club in the Madden NFL Club Championship. 32 of the best Madden competitors in the world will face off in the Club Championship final live from the EA Broadcast Center in December. Register today for a chance to take home a piece of the largest prize pool in MCS history. Folks, over $700,000. Visit MaddenChampionship.com/compete by October 7th and receive a free Team Elite Fantasy Pack. The Seahawks on third down, 2 for 5 to this point. This will be 3rd and 5. Throwing is Wilson. Open man, it's Vanette. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. And they convert on 3rd with a gain of 22. Now a timeout called for by the offense, as they'll stop it with just over a minute to go before halftime. Wilson now just 6 of 15 through the air. Not good, but 1st and 10 here. To throw again is Wilson. And an incomplete pass. That'll stop the clock here with just under a minute to play in half number 1.
This defense has been very disruptive early on as they force another one to go awry.
Seems to be the front and the back end. Pass rush, they've been able to get home, and they're taking the ball away in coverage as well.
I love how you put it together. The front and back working in sync, only way to play good defense.
To throw again on 2nd down, Wilson. Now another timeout called for by the offense as they get the stoppage with a little over 50 seconds to go in the first half. The Seahawks on 3rd down. They've hit it 50%, 3 of 6 to this point. This is 3rd and 8. Again, Wilson. He's got his tight end on the corner route. It's complete. And he's got another first down as the tackle's going to be made at the Bengals' 22-yard line.
The beauty of route running is it doesn't matter what position, everyone's doing the same thing. In this case, tight end selling the vertical route. Get the defensive back on his heels, break off for the corner. With good timing, you get a completion as we just saw there.
Throwing on first down, but this one winds up to be incomplete. And he's certainly not a guy that drops that football very often.
Indeed, because that's a bit of a surprise. I know he's in the middle of some traffic and people, bodies all around him, but he usually has the focus to haul that one in.
So after the incompletion, 2nd and 10 from the 22. Throwing again. Wilson. That is caught right at the 10-yard line. And able to get him down, but he does reach the 5. Now the Seahawks forced to use their 3rd and final timeout as they stop it with 16 seconds to go in half number 1.
Grenade! 52 right here. In your face.
Wilson will throw again. That's caught at the 2. And he'll be brought down right on the edge of the goal line at about the 1-yard line. Give him 4 yards there, and that should be the final play of this first half. So we have reached halftime here at a good one. 10-10 is our score. As we'll send you back over to Orlando with our EA Sports halftime report, here's Jonathan Coachman. And ready to get the party started for the second half. It was an even first half, all tied on the scoreboard. They'll bring it back to just about the 25, call it the 24-yard line. The Seattle offense now set to come back out on the field. They have a chance to break our tie here as we get a look at the first drive of quarter 3.
And it's such a tone setter, isn't it? Because both sides trying to seize momentum to begin the half. What do they have dialed up that'll give them an advantage to move the ball downfield?
Let's find out what they have dialed up. This complete to Lockett. No gain there on the completion, 2nd and 10.
Brandon, just mark that under the category of just not successful. Trying to throw the ball, just didn't work on that one.
Completed it. No yardage.
Check. Flag 90. Check. 52's the line. Go, go, go. Check safety, check safety.
On 2nd down. It's Carson, and not much there. Maybe a yard up to the 24.
Oftentimes we praise an offense for their variety of being able to hit people with the run and the pass, but in this game, how about what we're seeing from the safeties? They are all over the field. Doesn't matter if they threw it or if they're trying to run it.
I don't think we've ever awarded an MVU, most valuable unit, but you're right, it might go to them in this game.
I like that, MVU. Well done.
Here's Wilson. And that'll be incomplete. Well, they took their shot all right, but it comes up empty, and it's 4th down.
We've seen good cover skills on display throughout this game, really from both teams. And there's another nice example there of them making it difficult to complete a pass.
Now here's Michael Dixon as he's on to punt for Seattle. Yeah, he was looking for the checkup bounce, didn't get it. That scoots all the way into the end zone now for a touchback. So here are the Bengals now as they get their first possession of this second half. Their defense did its job, yielded no points. Now it's the offense's turn.
And how much fun is that when you set things up to start a half and you just tell you guys, hey, if you can shut them down, get it back for our offense, we can roll. And they played out perfectly. Now, can the offense do what they wanted to do at the half, which is find those weaknesses and now attack them and score some points.
And break this tie. So, Charles, tie game here. What are your keys as we continue to play this second half?
I know people think it's always trite when you say the same things over and over, but they're tried and true in the game of football. Who's going to block better? Who's going to tackle better? In this case, to me, it's turnovers. You've got to take care of the football in order to win the game.
On the run, it's Mixon. And the result here, the same as the last play. Another tackle behind the line of scrimmage by this Seahawk defense. Now, they struggled to get him rolling on the ground in the first half, and that's sort of continuing here in the third quarter.
Yeah, but I don't think it's time to abandon the running game. I would say keep feeding the horse, and I believe he'll eventually reward them, especially as we get deeper in the game.
On the draw, here's Bernard. And they will rally and stop him short of the first down. They get him to the ground at the 26. A good pickup there, 7 yards, but it brings up 4th down.
And that's the kind of run that gets everyone excited on offense. And, you know, oftentimes the guys who carry the ball are the ones in the huddle doing the chirping. Right now, I think it's the offensive line telling them, run it again. We are right there about to break a big one.
Punting now is Huber as he sends it away. Returnable for Lockett. And shedding through the tackle. A good return there. Call it 13 yards. And it'll be Seahawk football, 1st and 10. And the Seahawks get ready to trot out on the field. And on the last go-around, they really couldn't get anything going.
They had to punt from deep inside their own territory, which means you're going to lose the field position battle as a general rule. What they're looking for now is a little more consistency, move the ball at least a few times on offense, get a couple of first downs, and hopefully flip the field.
Well, just something to build off of. That's what they're looking for here. And he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair.
So statistically, both of these offenses having a rough time getting a running game going. But, boy, what a nice play there defensively.
Tackling him behind the line, but you're right. You look at the numbers. Neither side looks on track in the ground game. On 2nd and 12, Wilson, his throw incomplete. By the way, I got to apologize because I just realized for about the last 4 or 5 plays, I'm eking over into your territory up here in the booth. My bad. I'm going to get back over to my spot.
Yeah, and we're not talking about our on-air commentary. I mean, what is all this extra paper? I mean, this is unusual for you.
My bad.
Normally you run a really tight ship. What's going on here?
Just like that incomplete pass, I'm going to try to tighten things up here for this next play. Going for the deep ball. And unable to connect. Incomplete. Now, give them credit. They took their shot, but it's going to bring up 4th down.
One of the toughest things about playing defensive back is pattern reading, trying to figure out what they're doing. And on that one, they had the fly, just sending a guy downfield with the in route accompanying it, what people call a dagger route, trying to hit the guy underneath after the clear out. In this case, though, they're not able to get it done.
Yeah, they said forget the underneath route. They went for the guy on the fly, but as you said, incomplete. And that hits at the 6 and carries into the end zone for a touchback. The Bengal offense now gets set to head back out onto the field. Their defense has done the job. Now it's the offense's turn as they've got it 1st and 10. So here's Dalton and the Bengals now, 1st and 10 at the 20. They'll start on the ground here with Bernard. And he will lose yardage on the play. Back at his own 19-yard line. It's a loss of a yard there, and now 2nd down.
It's real easy to say this running game needs to be better, but the reality is they've been given little time to actually find a place to run the football. It's almost like the defense is there on the handoff.
A loss of a yard there to start out. That leads to a 2nd and 11. Andy Dalton. Throw left side complete. It's Boyd. And he'll be tackled at the 23 after a gain of 3. Only 3 yards on the catch. It's 3rd down. The last catch did get 3, but they're still left needing 7 yards on 3rd down. Dalton here from the gun. Well, the 2 men come together, and it's incomplete. Excellent work defensively, brings up 4th down.
It's always a goal, and it's really nice defensively when you can rally to the football and make sure there's enough contact to force an incompletion.
Force an incompletion and force another punt. Here's Kevin Huber now as he's on to punt for Cincinnati. A big kick there. We'll call it 56 yards on the punt. And out will come the offense as they take over. The Seahawks offense now, they get ready to come back onto the field. And both of these defenses have been stifling these last few drives offensively. Just not able to get anything going. So what needs to change?
I think a lot of the guys will go back and review, so to speak, because everyone has someone assigned to how did each play work. Okay, what did we use that kind of worked for us during this game? Try and get back to some of those plays, as well as the possibility of showing something you haven't shown already in this game and trying to change things up.
We'll see if they take the advice of Mr. Davis. Able to get 7 on that first down pass play. 2nd and 3. Now it's Carson. Try to find a lane, but instead he'll get back to the line of scrimmage and no more. The linebacker, Preston Brown, brings him down.
But it didn't appear to be a run blitz. He just darted in once he saw the run develop. That appeared to be a case of see ball, get ball.
Too late, cut. Green 80. Get the ball, D. Get the ball right here. Let's go. Kill. Too late, ball.
They run again with Carson. Well, this is going to depend on the spot, but it's not a very generous one. He looks to be about a yard or so short. 2 yards on the pickup there. It's 4th down.
So many things go into making a good play on defense. In this situation, just not being blown out of the way was a big start, and then a nice tackle to finish things off.
Now here's Michael Dixon as he's on to punt for Seattle. And a great job on special teams to down it, as this will be marked out inside the 5-yard line. They decide against going for it on 4th and 1, maybe to the dismay of their offense, but hey, a nice consolation prize down inside the 5.
Nice consolation prize indeed. So maybe the offense is upset, but they show confidence in their defense by punting it away.
They'll try to get the run game going. This is Mixon. And he'll take this forward only up to about the 7. In on the tackle there, Bobby Wagner, coming off a 3rd straight All-Pro season.
That first down play, all you want to do is wedge out any type of space and try and create enough room that if you have to run the punter out there, he can successfully complete the punt.
Yeah, didn't get a ton there, but at least some positive yardage. Throwing on 2nd and 8, Dalton. And that's going to be incomplete. Too tough to hold on to that one. It's 2nd down.
Well, it's easy to see when we review this that the ball needs to come out quicker, because if you don't throw it right on the break, you bring a crowd of people into the equation.
And that's why it got knocked away there. So the failure to connect on 2nd down, that leaves him staring up here at a 3rd and 8. Operating from the gun, Dalton. Now he'll dump it underneath to his running back, complete. And a pretty nice tackle there, ranging up from his free safety spot as he'll stop him about a yard short.
I think that call was made not so much to try and get the first down, although they would have taken it if they could have gotten it, but to give their punter a little bit of space and try and help out their defense.
Yeah, they got the safe completion on 3rd. Here's Kevin Huber now, standing about a yard deep in his own end zone. We'll call that a 49-yard punt with a return of just 2. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. So good starting field position for him here as they come up 1st and 10. They'll start out on the ground with Carson. A gain of 3, 2nd down.
What's the old expression, 3 yards in a cloud of dust? In this case, it's dust-covered pellets. It's no longer that old grass that we used to play on, right, and chew it up. Now we've got that artificial surface. You see the pellets go up. Still a nice play by the defense.
From the 39, Wilson. And he will not make it back to the line of scrimmage as he's going to be taken down. Carlos Dunlap, the Florida Gator, chopping his way to the quarterback.
How many times have we sat with coordinators, and especially the defensive guys, they've talked about big plays, sacks. They often come in bunches. Well, it may not be a bunch here, but that is the 3rd sack of the game for them.
And around the sack 3 or 4, I would think it starts to get in the quarterback's head a little bit.
Not just the quarterback, the offensive play caller, the offensive line, knocks people off balance and changes what they normally do.
To throw is Wilson on 3rd down. He may try and run for this. And he'll have it past midfield almost to the 40 before being taken down. The rushing numbers for Wilson, maybe down from earlier in his career, but he's still a threat to go, showing it there, picking up the 1st down. So signs of life in what's been a dormant offense in this 2nd half. Here's 1st and 10. Now it's Wilson. He'll get 8 on the scramble there. It'll be second and a couple.
Now, that was not a bad scramble there on first down. He didn't force it, nor did he throw it away. He was able to take off, and now he made it a very manageable second and short.
Throwing again on second down. Wilson, and it's hauled in by Ed Dixon. And he's got another first down as the tackle's going to be made at the Bengals' 20-yard line. Now that tight end position, it just seems to continue to evolve every year in the NFL.
Yeah, you're getting really terrific athletes. A lot of them maybe were wide receivers at one point. They continue to give you speed, great hands, and big bodies, which make them excellent targets for quarterbacks.
And he's going to be hemmed in and brought down right at the line of scrimmage. Officially no gain on the play, and it's second down.
What an advantage having an elite guy in the middle of the defensive line, because not only does he take up the space and let the linebackers run free, but he can also make plays himself, as we just saw there.
You.
Throwing on second down. Wilson throwing over the middle, and it's incomplete. The intended receiver was DK Metcalf, and now it's third down. Not sure what happened out there, but it looked like the timing was a little off on that throw.
Well, you know I'm a defender, so what am I going to say?
Great defense.
Darn right. They did something to disrupt that timing.
Big play coming up. Here's 3rd and 10.
I would expect to see some pressure here.
And the blitz does come. And the throw there going to be incomplete.
I know coaches tell us all the time that having a powerful arm isn't the #1 thing they look for in a quarterback. But when you're trying to throw inside routes and you need to put some heat on it, it helps to have the big gun. In this case, just a little bit too much.
So on now comes the kicker. It's Jason Myers. This to break our 4th quarter tie. And Myers able to knock it through. And they will take the lead at 13-10. So the drive here ends with a field goal. It does give them the lead, but this one's still certainly a long ways from over.
It definitely puts a lot of pressure on your defense to hold the lead, right? They're happy to have it and happy to be out there trying to do so. But I know as a former player, in the back of their mind, they're thinking, why don't you score the touchdown and seal this thing?
The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. Fielded about a yard deep. And he'll bring it a few past the 20 to the 23-yard line. Cincinnati now ready to take the field. And right now these guys, they're shuffling a little bit, maybe doubting, because 3 straight drives have ended with them punting the football away.
Yeah, so you start pointing fingers at each other a little bit, asking a lot of questions. What are you seeing? What are you getting? Maybe trying to narrow down your playbook a little bit and maybe get simpler rather than more complex in order to try and fashion together a drive.
Throwing, Dalton. And his throw here's incomplete. Great coverage there all around. Really didn't have many options to throw the football.
Very little chance that that one was going to be completed. Every receiver was locked up.
Once again, they'll go from the 23-yard line on 2nd and 10. To throw again, Dalton. And he fires one that's intercepted. Picked off by the linebacker, Bobby Wagner. And he will take this one home. It's a touchdown. He is a difference maker at the linebacker position. He had a pick 6 last year, remember it. But it's different for those guys, isn't it, than a corner or a safety?
It certainly is, because sometimes they're pattern reading, seeing what the receivers are doing. Sometimes they're spot dropping, just getting to a place on the field and finding the quarterback and going to the ball. But remember this, these linebackers, at one time in their life, a lot of them were running backs. And they love having the ball back in their hands and making big moves towards the end zone.
Extra point up and through by Myers. And his guys will take a 10-point lead. So they'll get another shot on offense following that pick six. And now the kick is away. That'll be taken in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Now the Cincinnati offense ready to see what they can do here. So here's Dalton and the Bengals now. 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line. Dalton right back on the horse after the pick six. And his throw's going to be incomplete. Giovanni Bernard, the intended receiver, out of the backfield. That'll bring up 2nd down. He started out having some troubles back in the first half connecting with his receivers. Really hasn't gotten a whole lot better.
Yeah, he's at less than 50%, and you and I both know that just won't do. So I would think about spreading things out, putting it on the receivers, make them win those one-on-one battles on the perimeter and find their way open.
Now left side on the swing pass. And he's taken down but able to slip across the 35. A gain of 13. It's a 1st down.
This possession means so much for them. They've got to focus on this drive and find a way to make this a one-possession game.
Yes.
Got to get a score.
Yeah, so good with a field goal. Don't necessarily need a touchdown. So signs of life in what's been a dormant offense in this second half. Here's 1st and 10. To throw here, Dalton on the screen, Bernard. And he's going to be taken down here with a penalty flag on the field. They were looking to throw, holding on the big right tackle.
That's real simple, partner. Keep your hands inside in the chest area. You're probably okay. You get it out on the shoulders, get them wide. Usually going to pick up a holding call.
So following the hold, they're in a bit of a hole here with a 1st and 20. Out of the gun, it's Dalton. And he can't quite bring it in. Might have heard footsteps there across the middle. 2nd down.
But plain and simple, that's the 2nd time today that he's dropped a pass.
And that one, I think, maybe even a little easier than the earlier one that he dropped. Surprising.
Was this game announced as a night game prior to, and maybe his rhythm is just off? He's got thrown off. He's got to wake up, enjoy the sunshine, and go play.
Now this one complete downfield on the left side. And they're going to have this across midfield and inside the 45. That one covers 29 yards. 1st down.
Press coverage on the outside, and for defenders, that's the ultimate risk-reward. If you take the risk, can you reward yourself by keeping them on the line of scrimmage? But no, not on that one. Got to step on them. Now it's just a matter of laying the ball out there for him to go get it.
So Dalton now. Throwing the out route incomplete. It's Green. And he gets it inside the 35 and just shy of the 30. This gain not quite as good as the last, but still over 40 yards between the two. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. You're down 2 scores. I don't think you need to rush just yet, but you can't take your time either.
Yeah, even if you don't want to commit to full 2-minute offense, you have to up the tempo, up the urgency. Maybe you're starting to call 2 plays in a huddle each time you snap the ball.
Here's a pass swung out left to his running back. And he'll be brought down at the 21, just shy of the 20 in the red zone. Well, when you're leading in the 4th quarter, that's not the penalty you want.
Not at all, and now your discipline comes into question. Having poise this stage of the game, you can't have those kind of plays.
And now it's 1st and 10, a big mistake, especially when you factor in the personal foul yardage. After the penalty, it's Mixon. And they're going to get him behind the line yet again as his nightmare afternoon continues. A good run there on 1st down, and it'll leave him with a 2nd and 2.
That's a strong pickup right there on 1st down, and as this drive goes on, we're seeing an offensive line and running game imposing its will.
On 2nd and 2, Dalton. And now he'll tuck it and run. And he stopped after a gain of 1. Not enough. Still a yard to go on 3rd down. All that gets him is just a yard, and now it's 3rd down. They come out here in the I. This will be play number 7 on the drive. 3rd and a yard. Despite only needing 1, Dalton to throw. And this is intercepted, and that should do it. Picked off by Brad McDougald. He's at the 50. He's at the 30, the 20. And they will finally get him, but not until he's all the way down inside the 15-yard line.
The Seahawks take over.
They'll run on first down. Carson. And he'll fight his way down right around the 12. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9.
Brings up 2nd and 9 at the 12-yard line.
They don't want it, fellas. They don't want it. Keep playing hard, fellas, all day. Woo! Let's get it.
So 2nd and 9, and you'd have to figure just about all 11 probably crashing the line here. They stay on the ground. Again, it's Carson. And he will score. Touchdown, Seattle. A 12-yard touchdown run. And the Seahawks capitalize on the short field as they take it in for 6.
Well, it'd be real easy to say that they are firmly in control right now, but I'm looking at your face and I'm thinking I've got to be careful with that.
Well, it's a 2-score game. You're inside of 2 minutes. I think you can breathe relatively easily now.
Yeah, you can, but still, you got to stay vigilant. Can't give up anything cheap and easy. That could put you in some jeopardy.
The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. That'll be taken in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Cincinnati now ready to take the field. They're down big here late. I don't know. You just one last drive here for pride?
Some people like to do that. I remember playing for a guy once. We were down huge, and someone said, "Coach, what do you want to call?" He just waved a hand like, "Who cares? Let's get out of here and do something some other time." But some teams like to do something at the end to feel a little bit better as they continue to move forward.
Yeah, probably just want to put this one behind them. He'll be dropped after a gain of about 6 across the 30 to the 31. You got the big lead defensively. Willing to give them that underneath stuff, right?
And this is why you work on your tackling. Tackle them after the catch, inbounds, keep the clock running. Just go ahead and bleed the game out that way.
Now they got to get to the line quickly. On second down now. Bernard. Now the Bengals going to use the first of their timeouts as they'll talk it over here before what will be an important 3rd down. From the gun, Dalton. He's got his man here. It's Green. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. Dalton to Green for a Cincinnati first. So signs of life in what's been a dormant offense in this second half. Here's 1st and 10. And he'll be brought down, losing yardage back at the 40. That's going to wind up a loss of a full 3 yards on first down.
If you're a selfish player and you're throwing the ball, you're cool with the completion. Maybe not so cool with the yardage loss, though, huh?
Yeah, you went backwards on the yardage. Hey, it kind of works like a sack for the defense there.
Yeah, it's a really big play for them, right? Able to figure it out, sniff it out, and finish it off.
They try to throw on second down, but this one is incomplete. He was looking for John Ross that time. And it's third down. Another wayward pass. You know, things started out poorly in this game, and to be frank, they just really haven't gotten much better.
And all that does is embolden the secondary. They feel good about what's going on, and they just play better and better.
Third and long. What will Dalton dial up? And that is incomplete. Well, it just seems like all game long there hasn't been a lot of sync quarterback to wide receiver on this side of the football.
They haven't been on the same page, quarterback and receivers. Heck, they haven't been on the same grease board when you draw plays up. They haven't been on the same surface tablet that you look at on the sidelines. Nothing's worked for them. They've got to find a way to start matching each other's movements.
Now Dalton. Now a desperation throw deep downfield. And he's going to be intercepted a third time. Shaquille Griffin with a pick. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. They'll start on the ground. It's Rashad Penny. And he'll get this up past the 5 to the 7-yard line. And give him 4 yards there. It'll be 2nd and 6. So the victory here for Seattle, and it was their defense that really made the statement after the break. They pitched the second half shutout.
Yeah, think about the team that just got vanquished. They did score in the second quarter. Do you think they thought at all that that would be their last points of the game?
No, but what a second half. The adjustment, whatever they did in the locker room, it certainly worked.
It certainly did, and you're exactly right. Whether it was an adjustment, whether it was just more focus on what they planned to do going in, whether they just played better, whatever it was, it all came together in the second half, and no points were allowed. That's a great way to close them out.
So that'll do it for us. For my partner, Charles Davis, and all the hard-working men and women on our crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL right here on EA Sports. It's a win for the Seahawks here as we say.